Anti-Afro Spengalis, I have to come on here to make something very clear. Starting out to begin with, we all know that nobody has a monopoly on a subject, a topic, an individual when it comes to speaking in any of those areas. There are, however, circumstances that present themselves when a separation and clarity has to be emphasized. Because no, you can't control what somebody is saying, but you do know sometimes people are saying things for very specific reasons. And those reasons aren't exactly in pursuit of the truth. The reasons and the things that people say, self-serving to a fault. So this is a situation with the individual you see here on the camera. As you see the resemblance to Umar, this in the car recording stuff, go for it. Record it in the car. Fine. But listen, think about whether or not what you're saying is actually based in any truth. As I just stated a second ago, a lot of times people don't care, especially in these YouTube streets. So this is a situation we are faced with. My objection, and I'm going to make it very clear, is this effort to collapse my position and Gerald's position in with the general population, for a lack of a better word, when it comes to this position on Lenon honor. So what this person was doing, he was making comments about Lenon honor being a fraud, and then he was infusing me and Rev G into this big pot of aha, I told you so. Not so fast, people. Let me make it very clear about my position on Lenon honor. Gerald's made his position clear. I'm going to speak for myself. Although I know exactly how Gerald feels, I'm going to focus on my thoughts, my perspective, and facts. Fact of the matter, calling Lenon honor a fraud and trying to say I go along with you, you understood the group I'm referring to, while also saying the medical fund was a fraud, the MOVE fund was a fraud, is not my position. Let me take you back in history, take you back in time. The MOVE fund, the only issue I have with the MOVE fund was the circumstances surrounding it in terms of the reason given. Not challenging the reason itself was based, rooted in protecting my family, making things better, being protective, a better life along those lines. Safety was the foundation of that request. And people who took that to be sincere donated to the tune of over $10,000. People were satisfied enough to give that money with what Lenon told them. No problem. I have got no problem with that. And let me tell you this, neither do any of you, because if you had a way to get up here on YouTube and you're doing it every time you come up here, most people anyway, because there are people who are not even monetized and they don't care. They are really on YouTube because YouTube is a video streaming recording entity. Everybody up here wants to get their views out for whatever reason, not necessarily because they're making money, but to those who are in it for the money, the ones complaining, let me be specific, the people complaining about the MOVE fund are these people trying to tell us that if they had a way of getting $10,000 in a relatively short time by coming up here and telling something about their life story that they needed help with, would they be at all concerned about returning that money if people decided, I don't believe you after we gave you the money? Would they reject the money if it started flowing in? Oh, no, this is too much money. I don't think this is right. The answer is no. So any people out there criticizing Lenon about the MOVE, and again, I'm focusing on the safety issue because that's my only issue about the MOVE. Not that he got the money, because you can't really speak on that because you would take the money too. You're taking money right now. And a lot of you people out there are taking money based on lies, based on deceit, based on harassing people, and based on threatening people or promising to do so. So where do you get off criticizing somebody else for collecting $10,000 based on the assertion that they're doing it for the betterment of their family and it's a safety issue? The safety issue is my only concern and issue I have with the move, how it relates to present day situation or relatively recent. So I'll get back to that in a second. Let's get over to the medical fund. I don't have a problem with the medical fund. Never had a problem with the medical fund. I think it is very unreasonable for people to expect that after somebody came on and gave you a scenario about their child, you thought enough of that person or the situation to give money based on the explanation that was given, to then turn around and say, this is a fraud. Now, we know frauds go on. We know people have these cancer funds, and starting from the very beginning, they were lying. We know this. This isn't the situation, and I think it's unreasonable for anybody to expect a parent to come back on and give the most intimate details of their child's health status. Now, there are some of us who do know that information, that we're given that information. I don't think any of you would be comfortable coming back on and giving every nook and cranny about your child's health. Do you expect him to give the medical records? No. So I think it's unreasonable. And that's why I have an objection to people trying to integrate me into this Lenon honor as a fraud scenario. I don't join you in that context. I'm very specific about the reasons I have problems with Lenon honor. And I'm going to go over those reasons again. Don't collapse me into your perspective about Lenon honor as a fraud. Here is my problem with Lenon honor. Going back to the move was based on a safety issue. So if you have an individual named Gerald Palmer who had a positive relationship with Lenon, they had a good relationship. Lenon never asked Gerald to come up and defend him. But when you have a positive relationship with someone, would you even think twice about people placing this person and their family under a relentless criminal attack? These were criminal offenses that were being perpetrated upon Lenon Honor and his family. Gerald, not even hesitating, jumped up and defended him. Lenon never asked him to do that. We know this. But a decent person, that's what you would do if you're sharing a space with someone who is a friend. So this is a safety issue. This is a situation where someone's wife is under attack. Lenon experienced the same thing. People's children were targeted. Essentially the same thing was happening. So when there's a chance for an individual who's doing this, and possibly others, because others are being investigated too, but there's a primary person, now you have an opportunity to address this within the law. And this is not to say every single person who is victimized by a crime that you're required to cooperate. No, you are not required to cooperate. It is your choice in most instances, unless we're talking about serious felonies, because they can force you to testify. If you decide you don't want to move forward with a criminal prosecution, you get to decide that in some cases. But in this situation, we have a unique set of circumstances. You stood on safety, security, protection of children and spouses. So to completely bail, totally and completely bail on somebody, that's the issue I have going back to the move. That it was based on safety and security and protection of your family, but you didn't think enough of somebody who could really put an end to some crap that was going on that never should have happened, of which Lenon was involved with. So for him to bail, that is my problem. If you're standing up for something, stand up for it. Don't expect us to protect someone behind the scenes when we really know what's going on. And not to say that he said, protect me behind the scenes. No, that's not what he said. But it would have been just fine if we said nothing. How can we say nothing when the police and the investigators all over the place? They said not to say anything online because of the status of the investigation then, but to sit here and live and sit with that? Then to go on as if nothing happened? No, people, that was not acceptable to me. That is my issue with Lenon and the move. Nothing else. I don't care about the 10,000. I don't care anything about that because I know there isn't a single one of you out there who would turn down that money right here and right now. And it's not like he didn't move. He moved. I don't care about all the stuff about the reasons and this. This is what he stated, and this is what you all accepted, and you gave him the money to move. Case closed in my mind. So let's go to the other issue that I had with Lenon Honor. And I'm doing this because I want to make sure there is a clear separation. A clear separation. There are some slimy, criminal perpetrating freaks trying to infuse me into their position with Lenon Honor, and there's no way in hell I would ever align with you. For nothing, for no amount of money. This is a clearly distinct position that I have. My other issue that I had was, again, standing on what's right, speaking up against injustice, addressing issues that need to be addressed, but then not doing that. Allowing some people to get by with total complete bullshit in your chat, and then thinking you can take someone else to task who addresses that. And this is based on your asserted standards. You don't want people dogging you out who are sitting in your chat. People were blocked before live streams because they were dogging Lenon out. That's exactly what he wanted to have happen because it's disruptive to sit up in a live stream. Yes, of course, there are people you block, but it's better to pre-block people so the live stream can move smoothly. Now, this was a time during all these freaking traitors were running around these YouTube streets doing all kinds of shit, talking behind Lenon's back, and they're coming over to the chat, continuing like business as usual. Not only that, there is a person, Glorianne Murray, who wants to make it seem, she wants to make it seem as if this is all about her. There was so much other crap going on, people. I don't even want to go there. And one of the issues going on was the situation with the investigation. When Lenon was turning his back on Gerald. And then this crap is going on with Glorianne giving emails. And Lenon is an extremely private person. You all know this. So you value your privacy, which I respect. You're respecting my privacy. We shared a great many things with each other, but you don't have anything to say to Glorianne about what she did. You want to consider my conduct to be what? Egregious? No, that's not what happened. This was an escape route, and I explained this before. So you're not standing on what you believe. Not only that, you sit by and you let these people try to embark upon a campaign where my character is hijacked, where Reb G's character is besmirched. That was not acceptable, people. It's got nothing to do with me thinking Lenon is a fraud. Lenon stole the money. He's ripping off Medicare. That's all bullshit, people. I'm not even going to deal with that. But don't come up here asserting a position that you hold, but you don't follow through with that with select people because of other issues. And I'm not going to get into those issues. That's not my issue. I am not going to be the sacrificial lamb. Now, here's the situation. I could have very easily kept my mouth shut and just sat there. I was never going to do that. I can't exist in a situation like this. And it was even worse with KKC's chat. It was, people, I can't even tell you how bad the situation was. You have people in that chat who went over and moderated for channels that were bigging up people who threatened his life. I was going bonkers. What the hell is this? What is the reason that you people aren't speaking up when you profess to be taking Umar Johnson to task for what he's doing. You profess to be against people, threatening people, but you're not doing anything about those in your live stream who claim to be rocking with you. No, that's unacceptable. So let me make this very clear. It doesn't matter to me what Lenon or KKC think in terms of who they consider supporters to be. They can think whatever they want. That is their right. As it is my right to make it very clear, a person who is aligned with someone who threatened your life is not a loyal individual. This person cannot be trusted. I do not consider that person to be part of you. That's my opinion. So I'm not associating my conduct based on what you think about that person. That person is hereby separated, and they always were separated. So people wanted it to be that Bernice was up under KKC. I never considered her up under KKC. She's disloyal and she cannot be trusted. But that is his business. But nobody can force me to accept a person that they support. I have my own thinking. I know what I saw. I know what I heard. Whatever someone else's reasoning is, it's their reasoning. But I was not going to sit there and say, oh, okay, that's just the decision. I can't be around people like that. I cannot be around people who are extremely disloyal, disrespectful. It is mortifying to me. And for those who want to sit here and be offensive when it comes to the smoke, that's total and complete crap. There was a conflict resolution that occurred. Is there anything wrong with conflict resolution? Well, apparently in this space there is, because people have a disdain for it. Neither one of us, nor did Gerald, compromise a single solitary value while we have this conflict resolution going on. Not any of us. But for people to sit there silently and expect me to sit up under someone in a chat, well, I know there's a person, Bernice, yes, you did. You passed around that photo of Lenon Honors, what you said was his anus, and you go and sit back up in his chat, and I'm going to go there and sit like everything's okay. Glorion, knowing how private Lenon Honor is, although she got none of his information, didn't give a damn that she's passing around emails, and it doesn't even matter that the emails weren't confidential or sensitive. That is not the point. If you're going to pass around an email with information on it that I already said to the smoke, so you didn't say anything, I said it to the smoke right there in the chat, and I emailed him exactly what's on that email that Glorion was passing around, or those emails. So there's nothing that was confidential or secret. Nothing whatsoever. So for people who guard and value their privacy, and I'm speaking about Lenon Honor, when you see somebody who is violating a trust and you close your eyes to that, at the same time, you claim to be for family and children, and you don't help somebody who needs your help that could address a very serious situation, I have a problem with that. So that's what I'm expressing. I will not be collapsed into this general group that Lenon Honor is a fraud. My situation is very personal. It's about integrity. It's about something that affected one of my dearest friends. This is not about Umar. This is not about Lenon Honor being a fraud, about a medical fund and the MOVE fund. That's crap. That's just water under the bridge. It's hypocrisy, because all of you complaining about that would have taken the money. You take money all the time for crap, for criminal activity. I have never, ever given somebody money to commit a crime. I don't care what email you put out there. No criminal conduct. Do you get that, people? The person who brought this federal lawsuit has been shut down. The judge has stated very clearly there wasn't any criminal threats. There weren't any threats. The person just decided to throw me in there because she's pissed. That's not my problem. You want to talk about that lawsuit? Talk about that lawsuit. Very little of that lawsuit applies to me, and it's been essentially decided because the crap that the person put in the restraining order is the basis of the lawsuit. I am not worried about the lawsuit. The other, how many people? 20 people on there. Maybe you should worry. I don't know. I didn't read anything about what applies to any of you. We only one of the things that apply to me. So I have no reason, I have no purpose to cover this lawsuit. And we're in a holding pattern right now. The person, I guess, is trying to get some of you served. She's after all you because she knows she can't get anywhere with me. There is nothing I have done on YouTube. If I have done the things, even 1/3 of the things that Dempsey has done, you would have something. If I did 1/3 of the things that Carrie Ann has done, you would have something. If I've done 1/3 of the things that, let me see, your handcuffs has done, you have something. If I did 1/3 of the things that Nikki Proctor Walden did, you have a case. You don't have a case. You can file whatever you want to file. You can try to threaten me. It's not going to work, people. This is a recycling of the same old bullshit you recycled you did last time. That's what it is. It's recycling of the same old mess. There is no new information. You can scour through all the videos you want to scour through. Enjoy yourselves doing it. It's going nowhere. I'm going to continue to do what I'm doing, and I'm not going to be collapsed into a group of people who threaten the lives of children and families just because you got your issue with Lenon Honor and you want to make money off of saying he's a fraud. I'm not involved with that. I made it very clear what my position is. My situation is a personal situation. It has nothing to do with trying to make money off of running some scheme about Lenon Honor is a fraud. Go for it. If you want to use that, use it. Keep me out of it. That is not my position. My position is a personal position, and I stand by and I stand firm on that. Hopefully, I've clarified the information, the situation for those who are interested. In the meantime, you know the drill. Buyer beware.